When you get to be my age, you do not, in fact, see something new every day, but once in a while, something like this comes across my desk that really is somewhat new and shocking to me. What we're looking at here is a wild Arctic fox, the type of Arctic fox that's native to Finland. And then we have the contrast to what these foxes look like when they're in a state of constant exploitation by the fur industry in Finland. They have selectively bred these animals. You could say they've genetically modified them so that they have folds and folds of skin all over their whole bodies, so they produce more fur, and also so that their total body weight is higher and higher. So the documentary says that the average body weight for an adult male, this type of Arctic fox in the wild, is about 3.5 kilograms, and within the fur farms of Finland, 19.4 kilograms in the average. About a third of them weigh more than 20 kilograms. So they have been bred to the point where their legs don't work properly, their eyes don't work properly, and obviously the floppy folds of fat and skin covering their whole body is so that they can produce more efficiently fur for human consumption, for people to make coats out of their dead bodies after they're dead. And also, of course, we have the implicit absurdity here of these animals just being born to die, living a life that is absolutely nothing but suffering in a cage on a farm. Below this video, you're going to find a link to the group who created this video. Oikuta Iljamilia. I can't pronounce it at all, but this is a Finnish group, and their name translates to Justice for Animals. You can take a look at that video in its entirety. It does not contain anything gross or disturbing or upsetting. It doesn't contain any blood or what have you. Conversely, in terms of their suggestions of where to go from here, they don't mention veganism. I don't know what the relationship of this group is to veganism, if they're vegan or not. They mostly talk about this in terms of the weakness and ineffectiveness of welfare legislation that they currently have in Finland, that they want to see better legislation and better enforcement of the legislation they already have. So it doesn't seem that they're approaching this in an abolitionist manner. I do think that this is a challenging and interesting example for other vegans to look at and think about, because most vegans respond to these sorts of images of animal exploitation by saying that the animal should be rescued, that the animal should be put in sanctuaries, that the animals should be raised as pets. Many vegans base their whole animal rights paradigm on the idea that all animals should be treated the same way that we treat pet dogs. But this gets into the abolitionist question posed by Gary Francione and other leaders in the vegan movement of whether or not we have to talk about abolishing this industry entirely, and whether or not this breed of animals, this breed that's been, it's so obviously incapable of surviving in the wild, now obviously incapable even of walking properly or of using its eyes properly because the skin no longer fits over the eye sockets and so on, whether or not this breed of animal produced only for human exploitation, whether or not it should exist at all. These are tough questions, and I think all of the answers ultimately simply come down to legislation, and that's why veganism is not just a diet, but is ineluctably and inevitably a political movement, a political cause.
À-bas-le-ciel.